So after NIO Power Day, NIO CEO William Lee did a live stream, and on that live stream he mentioned about profitability, which is what we're going to mainly talk about in this video. In the live stream, of course, he had other guests, Dr. Shin Fei, head of NIO Power, and all sorts of other guests, mostly franchisees, so people, outside investors that have invested into battery swap stations and have seen success. And these are living examples of this process, franchising business working. But before we talk about that, there's this meme that's absolutely taking off here in China about William Lee, NIO CEO. It is indeed what you're seeing on the screen. This character is from a very popular game that just launched here in China. It's a massive game. And one of the bad bosses, big bad bosses, looks exactly like William Lee, and people were saying this online, sharing about it online. So yes, there is striking resemblance, but usually this seems to be like a negative connotation, and with traditional auto companies, usually they get hit by like a sort of cease and desist kind of a letter, or you know, any sort of content like that gets taken off the platform. So you know, that's usually what happens with other automobile companies. If you sort of borderline insult or make fun of the CEO, you get in trouble, it gets taken down. But instead, he doesn't insult back or fight back, and he mentions how, oh yes, a lot of people have been sending him the same emotes about this, and then he says hopefully everybody can support domestic 3A games. And during the live stream, alright, the live stream that I talked about at the beginning of this video, someone actually asked if this game could be operated and run on NIOs, and he said he had to ask another NIO staff, and they confirmed that yes, it can run on NIO vehicles. So you can actually play the game on NIO vehicles as well, which is quite interesting. And then he actually wants cooperation with companies like that, like game companies, to further develop games for the cars. So this one maneuver, all right, instead of raging or doing anything like that, this has gotten him a lot of people to like him and NIO, which is very different from before. Back in like 2018, 2019, even 2020, 2021, NIO CEO was kind of hated because of some of his statements. He used to say like, everything that Tesla has, we have. Why would you buy a Tesla? That kind of stuff. That was something that he used to say. And also, he also said back when the ET5 was launched, he said, why would anybody buy a gasoline car? Like, do you like the smell of gasoline? That's the only reason you would buy a gasoline car. And he has since apologized many times for that, and he's very careful with what he says. And when people insult him or make fun of him, and he doesn't get mad, and he sort of takes it, you know, with a smile. Before, people would say, because of this one person, I don't like this brand, which was of course NIO, and they wouldn't buy a NIO because of this one person, aka NIO CEO, because of his past statements. But now the statements have changed to, because of this one person, I'm buying this brand, I'm buying this car. And you can see sales have been doing fantastically well. It could be partially attributed to this as well. And by the way, what does the meme say? It says, you've encountered NIO, comma, why not buy it? Right? So this is kind of funny. Like, you've encountered NIO as a boss in the game, why not buy it? Right? It is kind of funny, and people are indeed getting a positive response from this. So that's good. Now I'll roll the clip about the profitability.
Today we announced this plan. Someone mentions NIO has never been profitable. So when will we NIO be profitable? We're building infrastructure first. Right? That's because, well, we've been established for less than 10 years. Tesla took 16 years to become profitable. It's a process, you know? So please be patient. Everyone, I hope, will profit sooner too, right? Profits will help expand our facilities. So
yeah, please be patient. And in my previous video, in this video, I talked about how NIO has lost more money than Tesla has lost ever, right? And breaking it down, in 6 years, NIO lost almost 13 billion, whereas in 11 years, Tesla only lost $7 billion. Well, here, NIO CEO is telling us to be patient. What's important is infrastructure first. And according to his statement, I'm interpreting that even if they do become profitable, they're going to reinvest that into infrastructure again. So infrastructure, NIO is already the infrastructure king in terms of swapping and charging, and they want even more infrastructure. So that's interesting. But in my expectations, I expect NIO to be profitable in 2 years. All right, why in 2 years? Because right now they're working on 3 car brands, right? You got NIO brand, you got the Envo brand, which is just launched. They spent a whole lot of money on marketing activities, opening stores, but they haven't delivered cars yet. They just delivered 1 car to an Envo employee, but deliveries very soon in late September, October. And that's gonna help out. And then Firefly, they're also working on Firefly as well, and that's also going to take up resources. They're building factory number 3 for swap, and then also factory number 3 and 4 for building cars. So they're building 3 factories as well. So that's also going to take up a lot of money, right? 1 factory for building swap stations, 2 factories for building cars. That's going to take up a lot of money as well. They're also at the same time expanding in UAE. UAE is going to come online very, very soon. All right, so that's also going to take some money. They got to build infrastructure there too. The new house is being built. It's being renovated. Very soon it's going to be open. All right, so and also in Europe, further expansion into France, Spain, Italy, all these countries. That's going to require money as well. And on top of that, you also have to build swap stations for the Firefly brand as well. Firefly has to have its own individual swap station. So all this means a whole lot of money spent, okay? And of course, infrastructure. He mentioned infrastructure. You got to be patient. NIO will eventually be profitable. That's the big takeaway. Eventually be profitable. But it needs time. It needs time, guys. And by 2 years later, I think this is when everything is said and done. They've, Envo selling well, Fireflies being delivered as well, and all of NIO vehicles are pretty much on the NT 3.0 platform as well. And with NT 3.0 platform, it's much more competitive in this landscape. So you could see NIO even deliver a lot of vehicles, Envo deliver a lot of vehicles, and Firefly also deliver a lot of vehicles. And then infrastructure, it's all set. Like global expansion, you're doing quite well. So that's when I expect NIO to be profitable. But for now, NIO CEO is using the alibi that Tesla took 16 years to be profitable. We haven't been around for 10 years yet. So please be patient. So, yeah, 2 years, that's my expectation. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.